Okay, so now we're going to talk about error handling. Um, Swift has some things that make error handling a lot better. We're going to talk about try catch. We're going to talk about using enumerations and result types. Now, what is error handle? Now, I guess, yeah. What is the purpose of error handling, especially with regard to try catch, right? Basically, you can have a function that returns, say, we're gonna have the example of a function that says whether an email is valid, right? Now you can pass it a string, an email address string, and it tells you true or false if it's valid, right? But using try catch and enumerations, you don't just return whether the email is valid or not. You return the type of error, right? So we're gonna let's go ahead and let's jump on this, okay? So here we go. I'm gonna create an enumeration with all of our error types. Um, in our case, we just want to I'm just gonna put a whole bunch at sign missing, right? Case period in wrong location, period missing, period missing, case period in wrong period in wrong location. So, and I'm talking about the period. I'm talking about we're gonna have an email address, right? Um, Johnny Lawrence, Johnny Lawrence at eaglefang.com. Okay. We're gonna test and see if this is a valid email. We're gonna test it, but it's not gonna be. This isn't gonna be a hardcore test or nothing. Because basically, I'm just gonna test if if it has a period, and the period is within two or three, um, uh, places from the back, right? It's got to be three or two, because most of these endings on emails are .com or .gov or .mil, or it can even be .io, right? So one or two, no ones, no fours, one or two. That's it. And that's all we're going to test for. I'm not testing for all the other things. Let's go ahead and make an extension, right? I'm also going to talk about extensions. Extension on this it's called custom string convertible. And this has methods that you can use when you implement this protocol, right? And description, and you do switch, right? Self case at sign missing. And I'll say return string. There isn't an okay. Case dot period missing period missing, right? Turn there is no period. Okay. case dot period in wrong location. Return. Where's the period? Right. The period has to be 2 or 3 places before the end. Period's in wrong location. I'm just gonna say that period is placed. Okay, so we have those 3. Okay, this gives our special description, right? Let email equal Johnny Lawrence at Eagle Fang. Okay, so now I'm gonna write a function. Is email valid? And it's going to test if the period, all it's going to test is if the period is 2 or 3 places from the end. If it is, it's valid. Otherwise, it's not. Okay, that's all I'm testing for. Func is email valid. And we'll do our pass. Our pass in a string email. Right. And now I don't want to just say true or false. I want to say is this throws Boolean. Return. Okay. Anyway, we'll call it that. So say let last index equal email dot count -1. Okay. Now last index. I'm say if last index. So I'm gonna say if last index minus period index equals 2, or last index minus period index equals 3, and I'm going to return true, else row email error dot period in wrong location, and this will never be used, as you can see. And now I need to call this. Is email valid? Email. Okay. Oh, that was another thing. Okay. So when you use when you use throws and throw, that means you have to wrap this in a try catch block. So I say do, right? Do, try, and I say, and on top of this, I'm gonna say let is valid equal try. Okay, we're gonna take this X. Oh crap. This is really pissing me off. X. What is going on? Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Uh, catch, print, error. Okay, so this is wrapped in a try catch block. That's how it looks. Do, try, catch. And it returns true. It's valid. Otherwise, I go ahead and take this out and I run it. and then print it. There is no period. See, and there's no period. Or I can do it like this. Period is misplaced. Okay. So that's how you do a basic try catch right there. You throw your errors, you return your true, your Boolean. Okay. And this is how you go ahead and define your custom errors and use custom string convertible, excuse me, to return a description. Now, let's take this a step further. Okay, because now we're gonna do let's go ahead and we're gonna again use this error handling and this custom errors with an API call. Now I'm not gonna do any parsing. I'm just gonna do the API call and show how it returns, how you use an enumeration, custom errors, and instead of like a try catch block on the API call, because you can't do that. It's asynchronous. Um, what you do uses a result type, okay? And result type kind of makes it cleaner, you know. Another thing to learn, but so I'm gonna minimize this again. I'm about to keep it super simple, right? You know, API error. Now I'm just gonna say for this error, of course, it's of type error, right? Case malformed URL, and that's I'll just call it that malformed URL. I don't know what the problem is, right? But you just call it malformed URL. Um, let's see. I need to really find a valid URL. Okay, and so let's see. Let uh let string equal the public API entry. Okay, so that should work. Public APIs.org/entries. Now, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do another module that deals with API calls, codable, encodable, parsing API calls, returning custom models, and custom objects using a model, and all that other stuff. But this isn't that tutorial. This is just about using the result type, uh, an enum for custom errors, and how to get those how to use those custom errors in an API call context. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to create the URL. Say, oh crap, Jesus Christ, stop. Let equal you. Why is this thing hopping around? It's actually pissing me off. Okay. Um, and now what I'm gonna do is let data, let task equal URL session dot share dot data task URL, not URL request. URL with completion handler. L, right? Data response error. Okay. So now I have to create a function. Okay. So I'm going to create a function that's called send API call, right? Func send API request, right? And this should have a completion, COMPLETION, that is escaping, right? Right, results, result type, right? And the result type should be data. For now, it's data. You know, later on we'll use custom objects and generics. But for now, it's data, just so you can understand this. And then, of course, API error. Okay, and that's how you do that. So I'm going to take this X V, okay, and I need to put this in here. So what's going on? This is optional now. I would use a guardlet or whatever. I'm not. I'm just gonna explicitly unwrap it. Okay. For now. That's not the way you usually do, but it's the way I'm gonna do for now. Because I don't want to mire this down in other stuff. Okay, so now of course I have to resume. And now what I do is I call my completion, right? So if URL dot again guard error equals nil, else guard equals nil, else throw, well no, not throw, return, right? And before this return, I should say completion dot failure. Let failure dot malformed URL. Okay, that's how I do that right in here. And then now it didn't fail. What I'm going to do is because we're going to have data, and I'm not going to worry about data and response as far as those kind of errors. That's for another day. Let's keep it simple. Completion. And if you take if you take more of my tutorials, you'll understand. Okay. And that's it right there. And of course, I need to implicitly unwrap it with the bang operator. We discussed that in the optionals lesson. So if you haven't seen that, you need to go see that. And I'll explain the bang operators and all that. So this is it right here. What this should return is just a data with how many bytes. It's not parsed. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to send an API request and we'll see what happens. So nothing. Send API request. And I'm gonna say switch result dot case dot failure, let error print error, right? And then case dot success, let data print. Okay, that should be it. So if I do this, and there are the bytes right there. That means successful. See, you know something. Let me go ahead and that's just so you know. Okay. So, and of course, if this is wrong, I say so I guess it is still getting some type of data, right? So look, here we go. API. I'm going to set this, check this out. str. Let str equal HTTPS API. Okay. Okay. Malformed URL. Okay. All right. So right there. Malformed URL. This is actually printing. Just so you know, this right here. My playground failed. You're playing with me, man. I don't know. Malformed URL. Okay, so that makes sense. And if you need to, that's the magic of video. You can go back, rewind, look at this video again, and see what you don't understand, and on to the next.